Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome in to a brand new episode of Snaps, youtube.com/@volume snaps. I'm T-Bob Hebert. He's Aaron Murray, and this is Snaps. I hope you all had a great weekend, man. Great to be back. It's always so weird. Such a long gap between Thursday and Monday, but here we are again. We've had some news percolate over the weekend, and we got a lot to get to today. A lot of Ohio State, which according to YouTube analytics, our fifth largest listening market is Columbus. So shout out to C-Town. Shout out to the Buckeye boys. We got your show for you today as Ohio State's made all of the waves. And being a bit of prisoners to the moment, we did our top 12 a few weeks ago. We dinged Ohio State pretty harshly. And he had so much positive news since that moment, and then the Nick Saban news and everything else, that this was essentially finally the day in which we need to redo our Snaps top 12. The first of what is allowed to be many revisions, as who knows what the news cycle holds for us in the future. We still know what Harbaugh is going to do. We'll touch on that today, touch on some Alabama. NCAA is investigating Florida. Rest in peace to Sports Illustrated, and also the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. And then again, our Snaps top 12 redux. Scott Dice says, I'm eating gumbo. I'm making homemade chicken salad. It's a great day for that, dude. It's a great day for gumbo. It's cold over here still. For those that aren't from Louisiana, gumbo is like your chili or any sort of soup, anything that you eat in cold weather. That's what gumbo is for us. What's up, Aaron? How you feeling today?
Doing good, man. Doing good. And my wife did not hit me. It was my son who threw a giant magnet block at my face. And the kid's got some damn good accuracy and a pretty strong arm because he gashed me pretty good on the nose. So dealing with that a little bit right now. Other than that, we're feeling pretty good after the weekend.
Yeah. Everyone tell Aaron how hideous it looks. It's distracting. I can't pay attention at all. For those listening on podcast, he has a cut on his nose, I guess, from his kid, telling you to stop being such a little pretty boy bitch.
I know. I'm not the pretty one today.
I'm not feeling especially pretty. I gotta clean all this up. Anyway, 13.9K. Okay, boys, tomorrow when we come in, 14K. Let's go. Shout out to everybody hanging out this year. So funny too. I'm like watching, I'm playing a little WoW, listening to Nightcap last night, and they're like pushing 1 million, 50K live. But they're doing our show. They're talking about like eating ass and other like sexual innuendo and juvenile jokes, but they're just way better at it. But hey, what are you gonna do, dude? We are like the NFL is the top level of football, and college is a kind of a an imperfect, really poorly played mess. Like that is Snaps as to Nightcap, but we are happy to technically be on the same team. All right. Let's start with Ohio State, as they were the big winners over the weekend. Not only do they land Caleb Downs, more on what that means for Georgia and Ohio State coming up. I can't believe he didn't take less money to go play at Georgia. What the fuck's that about, right, guys? But yeah, Caleb Downs coming to Ohio State, and then Julian Sayin as well, the 5-star quarterback that transferred after freshman year, which got to make Ryan Day very happy. And in the end, there's some smoke out there that's saying that the Buckeyes spent $13 million assembling this roster for the 24-25 season. Now, some of you may hear that number and be tempted to do what our old producer Ryan Brumley did, which is create some sort of false equivalency bullshit to make it seem like that's not a big deal, right? Like, the Ravens put together $200 million for the roster. Well, yeah, that's the NFL, okay? And we're not used to that in college yet, and we don't have codified salary caps, and it still feels surprising and or interesting in the birthplace of a new market to see that Ohio State spent $13 million. I mean, remember, Ryan Day was out here, Aaron, a couple months ago saying it was like $7 million just to retain the roster.
Yeah, it was about last year. He said, well, last year he kind of put a number around 10 to 12 of this is what it's going to cost year in and year out to have a championship roster is going to cost you around $10 million. Yes.
And so So he's been very upfront about this the entire time, and and look, there's again, guys, we want to overcomplicate these things. And as we'll talk, I want to get into player motivations on why guys leave and where they go. Because in Procter and Downs, I think you have two examples of guys doing different things. But at the end of the day, humans aren't that hard to understand. We tend to love money because it sets success and things that you want to do. And you could buy assets if you have money. Like I asked Aaron, he read a book on how to create wealth. I asked Aaron what the book said. It said, buy assets. Okay. You
Rich dad, poor dad.
Buy assets first, whatever. So the point of all of this is, why did Ohio State, why do they have more retention than anybody else in the country when it came to their superstars not leaving? Why did they manage to get Quinshon Judkins out of an Ole Miss that seemed to have everything going for it? Why did they manage to get Caleb Downs? That's where he just became the first freshman ever to lead Alabama in tackles and was a freshman. Why? Because money. Because not to say hard work isn't there, right? Because yes, they recruit, they do everything else. But yeah, at the end of the day, they're all in. And why wouldn't they be? I think, do you agree with this? I think Ohio State has more pressure than any team in the country next year to win the Natty.
Well, and it's even more pressure now because there's significantly more money involved. And I think that always adds pressure to the equation of, hey, we're going to pay you X amount of dollars. Look at Jimbo Fisher. I mean, this class was assembled with an unknown amount of money, but it had to be a ton to put those number one classes together. So then more pressure comes on top of that. Like, hey, man, we're giving you the money. We're paying you X amount of dollars. We're assembling this roster with X amount of dollars. You have the facilities, go out there and dominate. He didn't. He gets let go, gets a nice buyout. He moves on. But yes, with more money adds the more pressure to that. And I think for Ryan Day, he's kind of understanding where this game's going right now, too, in the sense of, look at the hire he just made as well. He brings in Bill O'Brien. He brings in a guy that he can essentially hand over the offense to and say, and I've been saying this all year, you have to be a CEO in today's game. The days of being an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator along with being a head coach is dead. You have to be a fundraiser. You have to be a recruiter. You got to be able to kiss ass. You got to be able to shake hands. You got to be able to go raise money. You have to do a million other things. You can't be a play caller. So he brings in Bill O'Brien. Now that responsibility is off his mind. And now he can just focus on, how do I essentially go out there to the powers that be to raise enough capital to assemble this squad right now.
And look, to me, and granted, I'm not, I don't know the area of the country well. So somebody feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But to me, I see a lot of similarities in Ohio State that I do in LSU, in Georgia, in that really they're the only Power 5 show in town. Like, I know they've got enough of a population where Cincinnati obviously is good as well, and they are Power 5 technically now. But to me, this is like a Georgia Tech situation, right? Where you have a state that is super populous, a state that has super high talent per capita when it comes to football. And if you want to play for the hometown team, it's Ohio State. And more importantly, everybody that works in that economy, a lot of them going to be Ohio State fans, meaning the ability to fundraise like a Georgia is nearly it's a massive advantage over a lot of other states, a lot of other schools.
But you do bring up a sense of pressure. And I think it's a mixture of pressure, obviously, because you've lost to Michigan 3 straight years. You haven't been to the Big Ten championship. But there's also seeing what is returning. I mean, you look at different schools. I mean, last year, Michigan. And you talk about the retention aspect. I think if you can sell the message to last year, Jim Harbaugh, hey, guys, you return, we can win next year. You return with all these pieces that Michigan brought, from the quarterback to the running back to guys on defense. This could be our year. Bam, those guys forwent maybe some extra dollars. Forwent going to the NFL. They came back and won a national championship. There are certain moments where you have to hit it while it's good. And for Ohio State to see
they're the
potential, that everything's moving in the right direction. You're returning a lot of talent on the defense side of the football. One of the better defenses in the country a year ago. You return the majority of guys on that side of the football. You bring in Caleb Downs, which makes it any better. It just seems like everything is gearing towards Michigan may lose Harbaugh. Michigan loses a running back. Michigan loses a quarterback. Michigan's losing next year is the I'm going all in year. Next year is the Michigan's down, may lose their head coach. we have all these guys back. Can we go squeeze just a little bit more dollars out of our boosters to go get the remaining pieces we need? An extra running back, a star safety, a quarterback that has potential to develop something better than what we had this past year. And Ryan Day was able to do that and sell the vision of just buy in this year. Let me win a championship. And then from there, hopefully that ball gets rolling back to Ohio State dominating the Big Ten.
Yeah, and so I mean, you talked a lot about what Michigan could potentially be using, and yes, but then also no more Saban. I mean, you're not going to if whatever version of Alabama you have to work through will not be what it has been lately. I mean, I still think they're a playoff team or borderline. I think like a 10-2 type of feel, but obviously that's not. And then that doesn't even that ignores the fact that you're getting rid of what we talked about so much going to the playoff, which is just the Saban factor that on these biggest stages with time to prepare, Saban had a way of getting his teams ready that was nearly unparalleled. So yeah, like it's an obvious read. If you're playing poker, this is where you push your chips to the center of the table. And this is basically the leadership and the money in Columbus saying, okay, Ryan Day, like, we gonna give you everything.
Yeah.
And if you can't get it done with all these resources, we're gonna have some real serious questions. Right. And we're gonna find someone who can, if that's not you. I want to talk
I want to ask you this too. So we always talk about, or at least we talked about last week of Kirby Smart more nationally, and you can maybe get Ryan Day into this conversation too, but at least on the level of the SEC, it's 100% Kirby Smart tier 1, probably always, but just focusing on the SEC component of this. Kirby Smart tier 1, everyone else below Kirby. With Harbaugh gone, who is it just Ryan Day tier 1? Would you put Dan Lanning there? Like, if just Big Ten ratings here, we're talking about Big Ten, not nationally. Is Ryan Day kind of by himself, or would you kind of group those two together at the top with Dan Lanning?
I think that if you were to look at their overall resume, Ryan Day would have to stand alone. But if we're talking about kind of current form and how I feel about him, I'd put Lanning Day together. Shit. I mean, they're probably right underneath, but I'd be kind of tempted to put Kirk Ferentz in there. I'm not even joking. I'm just talking about in terms of consistently turning out a good product and a good football team with undermanned resources. Like Kirk Ferentz is pretty fucking awesome. James Franklin's weird. I mean, Franklin and
I'm not putting Franklin.
No, I was gonna say Franklin and Ferentz probably go a tier like right underneath something like Lanning and Day. Maybe we're crowning Lanning a little early here. But Franklin's odd. He's confusing in the way that Bill O'Brien is confusing. Is that if you look at his resume, he really is pretty fucking spectacular. But there's some, well, actually, he's not like Bill O'Brien, except that they're both kind of confused. But Franklin's resume is pretty damn good. He's got to figure out what to do offensively. Bill O'Brien's what I wanted to talk about, because what do you make of Bill O'Brien? Like Royal Pain says, Will Howard and Bill O'Brien. That's going to be interesting. He basically just had Bryce Young trying to make something out of a play half the time. So here's the thing with Bill O'Brien. You're talking about a cat that has a winning record as an NFL head coach, made the playoffs 4 times, won the division multiple times. When he was OC at Alabama, they averaged 41 points a game and went like 21-4. So, but everybody thinks he sucks.
I know.
Like that's why I say it's confusing, because just on paper, this is an over the moon, knock it out of the park, badass hire. But
when you're teaming up with Ryan Day, who's still one of the best minds in college football too, it's not like Ryan Day is just not going to be involved. Like, it's hard for me to feel like he's going to completely hand over. It's just taking the 100% focus of, okay, OC mindset. Bill O'Brien, you get 70% of it, and I'm going to be 30%. But this is still my offense. This is still my terminology. This is how I want things to run. I just need you to take it over.
I think Bill O'Brien is very good. I think he's a very good hire, and I think that he was a bit scapegoated both in Alabama and New England. I mean, I all of a sudden when Mac Jones isn't throwing to 3 first-rounders going against normal college kids, it's a little harder to squeeze some of that success out. Well, good thing for Bill O'Brien's next quarterback. Ohio State has 5 former 5-stars in the wide receiver room alone. And here's the deal. And Kim says Lanning and Day have won nothing. Well, that's kind of the point. There's nobody left in the Big Ten that has won anything if you're anything is just a natty. But yeah, think about being the quarterback, being Will Howard right now. You got no excuse. You're gonna have a top 5 defense in the country. You are going to have one of the best running backs in the entire country. Like I said,
the best running back. You're the best running back room in the country with those two.
Best running back room in the country.
Best running back room.
Top 5 receiver room in the country. Like you
O-line's a little bit of a question mark still. I think that's the one weakness for this football team. O-line, which was an issue last year. That's going to be I'm not going to say a major problem. I'm just saying, like, if there's a hole in the team, it's going to be offense line. Can that unit gel to get things figured out? But I mean, the offense should be balanced enough where it should be able to force defenses to be a little bit more balanced themselves on that side of the football to allow for the ability to kind of run and pass. So I love the football team. There's not a lot of holes. There really isn't a hole.
Yeah, the O-line may be a bit of a relative hole, but like that defense should allow them to control games without the need to throw 40 to 50 touchdowns.
But they were good, but that defense was good. The same thing last year, though. I mean, it may be better.
I think they're going to be even better. Is what I'm saying. Like even a step up.
They'll be even better, but like they were pretty damn good last season. Like that was impressive.
They were championship good.
They were 100% championship good. Everything was championship good besides the quarterback and offensive line at times.
So yeah, again, so we agree on staff. So we actually think Bill O'Brien's a good hire because many are.
I think Bill O'Brien. I think it's a really good hire. I think that you alluded to the talent. You brought up just the 5-star receivers. Just in this recruiting cycle alone, between transfer portal kids and kids in the high school rankings, 7 5-stars are now walking through those facilities that weren't about a month ago. 7 more 5-stars. That's
Jesus.
It's pretty damn good.
So again, I'll be interested to see if Alabama keep pace. And I want to touch on the Tide, but first, real quick, Caleb Downs. We probably didn't talk about that enough. Caleb Downs. I mean, Julian saying also becomes exciting when you look at Ryan Day's resume, kind of projecting forward. Whoever wins quarterback, whatever. But Caleb Downs, again, the only freshman in Alabama history to lead the team in tackles. A cat who just came in and didn't become a freshman All-American, became an All-American as a true freshman. And you thought he was going to Georgia. He's from Georgia.
We're just poor boys.
What's up, dog? What's up, dog?
Poor boys. Poor boys.
I mean, come on, dude.
Poor boys.
Po boys. That's how we say it.
I'm hearing significant dollar difference too. Like not like we're a couple $100,000 short. Like
like more than a couple.
Yes.
Oh shit!
Like Ohio State just rolled the trucks out, and Georgia said, "Sorry, that ain't happening."
Call those the golden handcuffs, Aaron Murray. Let me make my choice for you. Yeah, bam, here's another stack. Bam, here's another stack. I just can't believe it, Aaron. You're telling me he didn't take less money to play at Georgia? It's almost like someone told us on this show recently that would probably be the case.
No. We agreed. It depends on how much of less money is.
I would have never thought that was the difference too. To be fair, in my head, I had it scored at like $100K difference.
I know there's a lot of very unhappy people in Athens, and it's funny. I'm actually doing a sit down with Carson, so I won't be on the show on Wednesday. T-Bob will be with a co-host, but I'm doing a sit down with Carson, one-on-one. We're supposed to be on campus.
That should be electric.
The location has changed to being shot at the Collective now.
Oh, little advertisement for the Collective. Get galvanize the people a bit. You should do like subliminal messaging. In Fight Club, how Tyler Durden talks about how he used to splice in porn frames into the movie reels when just like a quick flash and people see it. You should do it, but just be like, just like on like to where you subconsciously can hear it, but they can't hear it. It's just like, fucking give money. You wanted Caleb Downs, you stupid bitch. It's because you didn't give money to the Collective. And just like kind of infect their brain that way, just flashing pictures of Downs in an Ohio State uniform to motivate him.
I mean, that's a big shot though. Like you had every opportunity for Georgia.
See,
get him.
No. To me, it's a symbolic shot.
Yeah,
you still
100%.
have a 5-star safety stepping into that role. Granted, he didn't play last year, but I can't remember his name.
Oh, they got plenty. The talent's not the question. I think this was the same thing of. I think Georgia views their roster very similar to what Ohio State views their roster. We got a lot of the main key pieces back. We got the defense line back for another year. We got receivers back. We got quarterback back. We got every linebacker's back. Like, we're checking off all the boxes. Like, Nick Saban's gone, as we keep alluding to. Nick's gone. So, like, that competition's gone. Kirby's the king of college football. We just need maybe one or two more little, small pieces here or there to really complete this roster. And getting a guy to the caliber of Caleb Downs could have been like the final straw to say, who the hell is going to contend with Georgia next year? And not saying like Georgia isn't going to be on our 1 or number 2 for snaps in a few minutes when we do our rankings. I'm just saying that like the confidence level, getting a guy like that on that type of defense already. I mean, hell, that's part of the reason why you went and signed the defensive back coach for Alabama. Part of it with the mindset of like, hey, we got a great
recruited him and flipped him to Alabama. Travis Robinson.
We get Robinson. We steal a guy from Alabama. We steal a great recruiter. We pay him $1.3 million. We anticipate Downs to follow with that, and it didn't happen. So it's 100%.
You weren't expecting that
just ego check to Georgia fans.
You weren't expecting Ryan Day's Just for Men NIL check to clear like that, where you get that new sponsorship, getting paid. I think, again, I think it's. I think it's quite simple. Somebody said, is spending $1 million on a safety worth it or whatever. I think it depends on who you are. Yeah. And Caleb Downs meant more to Ohio State than he meant to Georgia. And the leap that it makes the Ohio State defense take is a larger leap than that of Georgia. However, also it makes
is it though?
Ohio State.
I think Ohio State's defense is kind of very near where Georgia's defense was this past year.
Ohio State's entire team expectation went up multiple rankings after Caleb Downs signed. Georgia was probably already number 1, and then after Caleb Downs would have just been more number 1.
Was that so because of a roster, or was that because of a coach though? Was that a roster, or was that a coaching mindset? Because I look at Ohio State's roster and I'm like, it's as good as anyone else.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. So it probably doesn't matter, though, because functionally it's the same thing. When Caleb Downs joined Ohio State, expectations went through the roof. Whereas if he had joined Georgia, it just would have been like, oh, look, they're even more championship favorite now. Yeah, but not to the same extent is what I'm saying. So he meant more to them, so they paid more for him. That's why Georgia didn't pay as much, because he didn't mean as much to them. It's why Lance Hurd left LSU at tackle and is now going to play for Tennessee. He meant more to Tennessee going forward than he did LSU. That's the market. That's how this works. This is good. That means the players get paid. Buckeye secondary, Troy V says Buckeye secondary is already top 5. Downs makes it top 2, maybe number 1. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, because Alabama was number 1 this last year. Georgia was probably right behind him.
I would put Georgia top 2, top 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Georgia was right there.
And so I think it's now Ohio State and Georgia on the top 2 secondaries in the country this year. Speaking of Alabama, so we got all these players leaving. What do you think success looks like for the Ted in year 1?
I think success for Alabama, for the fans of Alabama, is to make the playoffs. I think for them, if you don't make a 12-team playoff, that how you view yourself, you kind of got to take a look in the mirror a little bit of like, oh my God, like we've always considered ourselves for the entirety of this 14 playoff. We are one of the best 4 teams in America. We should be in there. And they've made it almost every single time. Like Alabama has been one of the constant ones to make the 14 playoff and compete for a national championship. If you're not even in a 12-team playoff, I think it's a major shot at what was built. I mean, that's the thing. Like Nick Saban built this incredible dynasty. And the hope was that even if when he did decide to move down, that the bones were so strong, the structure was so strong, that it wouldn't come crumbling down to the effect of, hey, we're a top 2 team, and then we drop out of even a 12-team playoff. So I think for them to feel like that the entire thing is not crumbling beneath their feet, I feel like making the 12-team playoff is almost a necessity, or all hell could break loose.
I agree. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's very simple. Royal Payne says the good thing for DeBoer now, 10-2 in the SEC gets you a 12-team playoff. That is it. It is 10-2, 12-team playoff. You don't have to win it. You don't have to win the SEC. Nobody's going to fault that. But Alabama fans are also not ready to suffer 3 losses in a regular season. Not at all. I don't think that's happened since Saban's first year, right? I think one year they had 3 losses, but I want to say that third year came on, or excuse me, the third loss came after a bowl game.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's pretty cut and dry. What I think is interesting is to watch why different guys leave for different reasons, right? In Caleb Downs, you had someone leaving quite simply to get paid, the easiest of all motivations to understand. But then you also had the true freshman tackle, Caden Proctor, leave. And his story's a bit different. Now, I'm not naive. I know Iowa is paying Caden Proctor, certainly, right? And maybe it's even a little more. But Proctor wasted no time once Saban retired. Like that, he is one of the ultimate examples of a guy who chose Nick Saban because I think of what he thought he could do for his career going forward, right? You want to make the NFL, you want to have a high chance of becoming a first-round draft pick. Well, people who play for Nick Saban, that generally happens. So as soon as Nick Saban leaves, suddenly home is calling once again, and Caden Proctor goes back to Iowa, a school that he was committed to forever, that he grew up loving. The number that he wears, I can't remember which Iowa lineman it is, but it is honoring one of the Iowa greats. Like it's and it's an interesting lesson for coaches to learn, because if you hear Proctor talk about it, the Iowa coaches never bailed. Yes, Razor says Proctor was an Iowa committed till signing day, right? Yes, he was. And then he flips on signing day, and the Iowa coaches, while they said it fucking hurt, basically said, hey, man, look, we get it. Wish you nothing but the best. Just know we're here for you. And, you know, with the transfer portal, who knows? Just leave a little seed. Who knows?
You have to.
And Proctor even said that when he was struggling this year, that the Iowa guys still had his back and were still putting him up. So now recruiting never really ends. And if you miss on a guy in high school, especially if it's a home, because you have to look, you don't have unlimited time. You got to commit your time. But if you have a hometown star that leaves the state that you knew liked you, but left for other reasons, stay in touch with that guy, because you will have inroads if he gets homesick or feels unhappy. And now now Iowa gets an elite offensive tackle in Caden Proctor.
Well, and that's why I remember after that SEC championship game, Kirby went right up to Caleb Downs and gave him a little high five and hug. Like you have to, and had a big smile on his face. I mean, the dude that just lost to Nick Saban, Alabama again. The guy that lost to his biggest rival when it comes to being the greatest coach in college football at the time, had a big smile on his face as he shook Caleb Downs' hands and kind of, I don't know what he said to him, but you were always, and this goes back to what we talk about right now, like you always have to be in the selling mode. Players, alumni, boosters, money, whatever it is, like you're a car salesman today. That's all you are. You're a car salesman that's making $10 million a year to sell your program, to sell recruits, and to raise money. And you have to stay in touch with them. But when it comes to Alabama and everything they lose right now and getting to that 9-3 or 10-2, excuse me, I know they got a lot of, like, there's no doubt, like they had 70 plus guys on the roster that were 4- and 5-star guys, but you've lost a lot of guys that weren't just 4- and 5-stars or 5-star recruits, but were starters. So you may have a bunch of 4- and 5-star guys in the background, but you're talking about replacing a lot of inexperience right now with a lot of
You're still better. I mean, you're still better than everybody save for Georgia on your schedule. Yeah.
Texas.
Are they on the schedule as well? My bad. Yes. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Sorry. I just made that up. I don't know.
Zach Pitcher says Alabama's not going anywhere. We're going to dominate like we always do. We will beat Georgia like we always do. We will beat LSU. Roll damn Tide.
Let me say this too.
ZP. You better hope you're right, bud. Because
I will say this too.
Guess whose smiling face is going to be just sitting there in the fucking mud, waiting, just smiling, just saying, come on down here. Let's wrestle a little bit. Let's hop in this KY jelly together. You see what it's like down here in the muck with the rest of us.
For the one time I played Alabama, I'm sure the multiple times that you played Alabama, there has always been a sense of confidence. And they kind of walk off the bus with this swagger of we're the intimidators, we're the bullies, we have Nick Saban. And you know this, and I know this, and all football players know this, like confidence plays a big factor in the games. Like if you walk into the stadium and you feel like, we're the bigger, better, more physical team, that plays. And Nick Saban is just beat that mentality into Alabama for 2 decades now. And there's that confidence that we are led by Nick Saban. We have built this strong, mentally tough football team that's going to go out there no matter what and kick your ass. That's why we say, like, Alabama, it's a 4-quarter game. Like, they will never mentally give up. You got to be ready to fight for all 60 minutes, regardless if they're up or down. Do they lose that edge? Because now there are other teams that are as talented, Georgia, Texas, and maybe some that are close, LSU, Ole Miss, but you don't have the Nick Saban swagger. You don't have
they've
the Nick
lost
Saban confidence.
their invulnerability.
You lost that kind of that mysterious edge that everyone looked across the field and said, "Oh shit, that's Nick Saban over there." Like, that ain't there anymore.
Lil Nicky may have been small, but he did have some big dick energy that he would infuse upon the entirety of the team. Mike Darius says, Caleb Downs is down to Ohio State and Alabama. Pick Saban and Saban left. Why are you acting like it was just a bag? Well, let's be clear. Out of high school, I think Ohio State and Bama probably had the best offers on the table monetarily, and then he ends up going the Saban route because it's Nick Saban. And so then when he leaves, yes, of course he's going to re-enter the marketplace. And why he picked Ohio State over Georgia, I would say, was because of a significantly higher offer. I don't that's not disrespectful to anybody. Caleb Downs doesn't need to be playing at Ohio State for the love of Ohio State. And it's not demeaning Ohio State's pitch. As I said, Ohio State, along with Alabama and Georgia, have been the outliers. Like, they live alone from a recruiting perspective. They do a hell of a job in that department. It's just modern football. If you can pay guys, you're going to go where you get paid the most. When it rains, it pours, Aaron. Have you seen this about the NCAA in Florida?
I missed that one.
The NCAA is investigating Florida. Details are still sparse, but it's reportedly to do with some Jade and Rashada drama.
Oh, it's back.
But the only reason why I find this to be interesting is because it becomes a commentary on, the NCAA may not have power, but the school can empower it, right? If the NCAA goes after Jim Harbaugh right now, Michigan will fight that tooth and nail and will likely have a good chance of winning because the NCAA is pretty feckless. If the NCAA goes after Billy Napier right now, Florida will say, yes, please. Here's our books. What do you need? You don't need a Freedom of Information Act, anything. We got you. You want his texts? You want his emails? What do you need? You want context? We got you, because Florida wants the fuck out and Michigan wants in, right? So the only reason this is a story is because I believe, because this buyout's over $20 million right now, I believe that Florida fans and leadership would likely love nothing more than to be able to Jeremy Pruitt his ass. Same thing Tennessee did, where Tennessee was like, yeah, bro, we were fucking cheating. Look at this shit. And it's all that guy's fault. The thumb. Get him out of here. Florida's going to try to do the same thing to Billy Napier.
Yeah, but at what point did they do it? They're not going to do it now. Right? A little too late in the game to do it now? Pull the rug?
I think
you think they want to move on right now?
No, I don't think. I think beggars can't be choosers. If you want to get a guy out for cause and avoid paying $23 million, you got to do what you got to do. And so
I don't think they. You obviously you can't drag it on. You can't wait to the season. If there's some sort of conclusion in the next couple months, you can't wait till the end of the season and be like, oh, let's fire him for cause for something that happened, or a ruling that was happened 9-10 months ago.
I think they would value getting out from under
right now.
24 million. No, I think you are acting like they have too much. You're acting like they have too much agency in the timing. They don't. This is like never let a good disaster go to waste. Okay. And if you can get out from underneath 24 million, you get out from underneath 24 million. Because that's all money that could be immediately turned around and spent on the next elite guy, whoever you want to try to go after, right? So that's I don't think, does the timing suck? Fucking sure. But you do what you got to do, whenever it is. So it's just something to keep an eye on.
I'm just saying, you think they want to move on from him right now. You don't think that there's a mindset in the facility?
I am going to punch you. I'm going to punch you through the fucking camera if you act like I don't understand what I'm telling you again. What I'm saying is, I don't think they have a choice on the timing, And I look, if they can massage it, sure.
I think they want to
Go another
massage it.
year.
I think they
Go
want to
another
massage it
year,
for
and
another
then
year.
try to get out for cause afterwards. If that's how that happens, sure. I don't think that I don't think that.
I just feel like you're
Why would
making
Florida
it seem,
be allowed to do
you're
that?
making it seem like Florida's been just once again like full Tennessee mode. Which I'm not putting Billy Napier in the same category as Jeremy Pruitt. Like
You're
that
right.
that
Billy
is
Napier's been objectively worse than Jeremy Pruitt. Jeremy Pruitt was actually winning games compared to what Tennessee was doing when he took over from Butch Jones. Like they actually got a little bit better. Billy Napier's tenure at Florida has been an abject disaster. Jim McElwain went to Atlanta multiple times. Dan Mullen had him on the edge of the playoffs and went to Atlanta. Billy Napier has them at the bottom of the SEC. So yes, he's a worse disaster than Jeremy Pruitt is. And that sucks. I fucking used to really like Black Spot Billy. I guess I still have no personal issue with him. He used to come on the radio every week when he's at UL with us. He's a good dude, but it's gone disastrously at Florida.
Where's the question? Someone asked in the spot, can Florida ever get back to the Tim Tebow era? I think so. I think you have the pieces, you got the money, you got the facilities, you got the recruiting backyard there in the state of Florida. You got the brand, you've won championships. Just takes the right guy. I mean, you said like Dan Mullen did it without even recruiting. He almost got him to the promised land. Like a guy that didn't even really care about going out there and getting the 4 and 5 star guys was able to turn that team into a program that was knocking on the door.
Roll Payne says, who'd they able to hire after that debacle with and the NCAA? Well, I don't think the NCAA penalties would be too harsh, right? Like, didn't mess with Josh Heupel too much at Tennessee. It's just an avenue for getting out from underneath the contract. And in terms of who they want to hire, there's actually probably never been a better time to be Florida head coach because you finally got investment. You got buildings. You got a massive Gator collective. Like, you got a lot to like that. Billy Napier's only problem is just on the field.
Baby. Dion. Come on, Dion. Come on, Dion.
Bring it back.
Come on.
And Jeremy Pruitt was only helping some kids' families having a rough time. Seems kind of silly now. Yeah, it is all bullshit. Again, and that's the funniest part. If Tennessee loved Jeremy Pruitt would still be the head coach.
Yeah.
They used it to not pay that man and get him fired. Aaron, do you have a favorite Sports Illustrated cover? I mean, it's kind of crazy. This is a publication that was our this was our life. Like, I mean, for our lifetime, like I used to love SI Kids. I loved Sports Illustrated. My old man was on the cover back in the day, Saints Alive. And we had this giant poster blown up and like in our home. It was so cool. Remember like being on teams that made the cover. And it's just crazy to see that they're gone now, completely gone.
I remember as like a kid always, going in the store and trying to cop a peek at the one magazine, of course, kind of skim through before.
You talking about the swimsuit issue? I was going to start sports and then go swimsuit issue because I do have some very core memories of the swimsuit issue myself.
I think most of my memories really kind of revolve around the swimsuit issue,
of course.
Just to be honest,
horny ass Tampa fuckboy, guys. Sometimes stereotypes are offensive, but other times they're accurate. And it would appear that
nudge even said my mind went straight to the swimsuit. Like, so I guarantee you guys most people about Sports Illustrated, a guy.
All right, what cover stands out, and what cover stands out in your mind more than any other?
I can picture it now. I don't know who the model is.
Describe it if you can picture. This is an interesting game. I want to hear you. I want to hear you try to describe.
I really don't want to describe.
No, describe what kind of bathing suit. What are we talking about? You're being a little bitch. What are we talking about?
No, you describe yours.
I mean,
let me see if I can find it.
Okay, mine's Tyra Banks, 97. Duh. Never forget it. Probably the first one that I really dove into. And I was just absolutely blown away by this goddess on the cover. Changed my life at 8 years old. I would say the ones when I was in high school are pretty burned into my brain. I think that was like maybe Brooklyn Decker, Marissa Miller time back then. Obviously, Kate Upton had an insane run when she got on multiple covers. I want to say she might have ended up on like 3. I'll never forget, though. I think it might have been, yeah, there it is. 2008. No, 1999, excuse me. 1999, Rebecca Ramon Stamos on the cover. But it was the first one with body painting. And when I tell you that 10-year-old T-Bob sat there looking at painted nipples like his goddamn life depended on it, I was studying them like NASA scientists studying moon rocks, trying to figure out exactly what was going on. Also, listen to how unapologetically horny these covers are. This is from that
I got
99
mine.
cover.
There we go.
Look at this. The Not So Virgin Islands. Rebecca unchained on the ultimate private island. Birthday suits. 6 supermodels in nothing but paint. Star athletes and their sexy spouses. I actually remember Doug Flutie and his wife. Shout out.
2008. There you go. 2008. Found it.
That's got to be a Brooklyn Decker one. Or no, that's a Marissa Miller. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. 08 was. I mean, look. Again, listen to this is not that long ago, and these titles I don't think would play nowadays. All new body painting masterpieces, players' wives show it off. Danica Patrick reveals her racier side. Jeez.
Yeah. Wade Walker sharing behind the camera right now, waiting to hear him describe his favorite swimsuit model.
I remember my friend's mom caught me not in the act, although one time she did catch me in the act when I was in the bathroom, and she knocked on the door and literally made a joke about choking the monkey, which was, pretty embarrassing. But she found, I'd stuffed it under the bed of the sleepover. She found an SI swimsuit issue and a Victoria's Secret catalog.
Dang.
That I'd smuggled out, which, to be clear, those were both like gold. To me, it was like Victoria's Secret catalogs, SI swimsuit issues, FHM and Maxim. Remember them? Hell yeah. Those are badass. Gotta love a good cleavage mag. These were all, but I mean, now I don't know. Now these kids are just watching crazy, insane, hardcore incest sex, like at like 10 years old, because society's doomed and we're all fucked. Like, what happened to having to look at your mom's Shape magazines back in the day?
It's gone. It's too easy now. Too easy.
I used to think that a vagina was located on the front of the pelvis, like right underneath the belly, kind of. So you would just be like straight on. And then I'll never forget some of the older guys on the team.
Didn't work out too well for you the first go around, did it?
Well, no, I was prepped by my boys who were like, "No, dude, it's farther down than you think. It's farther down. Just keep."
What the fuck are you guys talking?
Not just in the front. No, you think it's an LSU something, bro?
Yeah.
You think I was still asking these questions at LSU? You think I was still asking these questions at LSU? Yeah. Hell no, bro. I'm talking when I was in like eighth grade. This is what I'm learning from the older boys teaching me the waves. It's farther down. I'll never forget that. And they were right, way farther down than I thought it was.
Some guy.
Some guy says I am 50 and have not looked at porn in like 25 years, but my son told me modern trends are women stuck in the dryer. What the fuck? Yeah, bro. I don't know. Look, a man really shows you who they are when they're alone. And the Pornhub analytics show you that we as a society and as a race are broken, because the stuff we are into is so weird and so out there, and it is women stuck, and it's a lot of incest stuff, and it's a lot of step siblings. It's a harbinger of doom. We have war breaking out everywhere. We're watching dryer videos, NIL, fucking transfer portal. What the fuck's going on with this world, dude?
We're all doomed. Need to build my bunker now.
Well, no, you got to buy assets first. You don't get to build a bunker without buying assets and increasing your portfolio. Like, here, guys. Okay, I'm going to give you some Snaps financial advice. If anybody wants to make money, buy real estate. Real estate. We'll get to Snaps coin later. That's when we got it, because that's how we're going to get the money to buy real estate. Buy real estate, especially high-priced California real estate. Okay. Actually, you
Mhm.
know what? How about this? Buy real estate that other people want to buy.
Mm,
There you go. You're
mm,
welcome. You're welcome.
mm. You
Um,
wanna do top 12? Or you wanna
First,
save
I
that
want
for
to hear
tomorrow?
from DraftKings. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL playoffs, is bringing you an offer that'll make the playoffs electrifying. New customers can bet just $5 on any game and get 200 instantly in bonus bets. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code T-Bob. New customers bet just $5 to get 200 instantly in bonus bets only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code T-Bob, T-B-O-B. The crown is yours.
Mhm.
I'm seeing if any of this is worth reading. No, I don't.
Mm.
No. All right. Snaps, top 12, Redux. We're looking at them again because I can't remember what our old snaps. Is this our old top 12? Okay, so we had Georgia, Alabama, and this is right when the season ended.
Mhm.
We had this before Nick Saban retired. We
Mm.
had Georgia, Alabama, Michigan, Oregon, Texas, Ole Miss, then Ohio State, Notre Dame, Utah, Mizzou, Penn State, Arizona. Whew, lots changed. I mean,
Mm.
even like Jed Fish being gone now, right?
Yeah.
With Arizona sneaking in our
Eh.
old top 12. All right, new top 12.
Work our way down or work our way up?
Work our way down from the top. I'm still going Georgia 1.
Georgia 1, Ohio State 2.
Yeah, I agree. Georgia 1,
Yep.
Ohio State 2. Georgia has a complete team a la Ohio State, and they have the turning quarterback. And while you could say the same about Texas, who I believe we both would have number 3 here, correct?
Mhm. Texas number 3.
While you could say the same about Texas, Steve Sarkisian still a little unproven on the do it in back-to-back years facet,
Yep.
right?
100%.
Whereas I think
New
Ryan Day has proven that.
conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Georgia's proven that.
Yep.
So Georgia, Ohio State, Texas are going to be our new top 3.
Oregon.
I got Michigan at 4 because we
No
still don't have news on Harbaugh. We still
hardball.
don't have news on
Yeah,
Harbaugh. We don't know for sure.
he's about to have his second interview with Los Angeles. You don't have JJ. You don't have your top running back. You ain't got your top receiver.
I'll
You got
go.
some
I'll
guys
go
on
Oregon
defense. You
because
lost your offensive line.
I'm sure Harbaugh probably leaves, and then I don't want to.
Yes, I have to redo this.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Oregon 4. God, that kind of feels like we're sucking Dan Lannon off though a little early. I'm sorry, that was a little crass. It kind of feels like we're crowning Lanning a little early though.
Oregon 4. I got
Okay.
Ole Miss 5.
I'm between Alabama and Ole Miss, dude. I mean, actually, personally, I would put Michigan above both.
Nope.
You don't think Michigan should be
I think
5?
Michigan is losing a ton and possibly losing not possibly. I think there's like an 80% chance to lose their head coach. I think they were built to win this year. They did that. And I just think it's going to be a little hard to reload. I don't know. I'm just not feeling Michigan right now. Or I think Ole Miss is the opposite. Ole Miss has retained a lot, most of their roster, plus added in some key guys.
Maybe I'm just guilty of like bias. Like thinking about Ole Miss being preseason top 5 seems insane.
Ole Miss 5.
Royal Payne says Lane is 3-22 in games versus teams that won 9 games a year. True, but it's a little disingenuous because how often has he had teams that would be better than those teams, right? Like
Not often.
it's one of those things where one of my favorite stats from the weekend, and it does matter because it's interesting, but it's like the Niners were 0-30 when trailing by 7 or more entering the 4th under Kyle Shanahan. And it's a bit like, well, yeah, if you're losing by 7 or more going in the 4th, those are generally games where it's not going well. But like you should have at least stumbled into 1 win in there, right? So whatever, I don't know. Okay, so you want to go Oregon 4, Ole Miss 5?
Yep.
Not Alabama.
Not Alabama.
So then Michigan 6 or Alabama 6?
I got Michigan 6. I got Alabama 6, Michigan 7. I just think Alabama at least returns talent where I'm just thinking Michigan is.
Oh, and you got Kalen DeBoer. I still believe in DeBoer.
Yeah.
Exactly. So Alabama 6, Michigan 7.
Utah 8.
Yeah. Somebody's got to win the Big 12.
Yeah.
I'll be favorited. have a good chance to maybe go undefeated, or not undefeated, but they'll Cam Rising come back, and we've seen like 30-year-old quarterbacks play great in modern day college football.
True.
Okay, so Utah 8, Mizzou 9.
Ooh. I just with them losing their defensive staff, I'm a little bit down now on Missouri. I got Notre Dame at number 9.
Oh, I can go Notre Dame 9. I can get down with that. I gotta have Mizzou in the top 12 though. I see now. I hadn't looked at your top 12 up until this point. I see now you don't have Mizzou in the top 12. I don't. I mean, I can't follow.
I got Penn State next. What they got on offense, hopefully with the new OC, you got the returning quarterback a second year. You got 2 running backs. You went and got a nice receiver. Kind of like Penn State.
What's more likely, that Penn State figures out its offense or Tennessee figures out its defense? I think we got to go Tennessee 10.
All right, I had Tennessee 11, so I'm
saying like, because Penn State's conference could be significantly harder, and don't forget Tennessee has the second easiest schedule in the SEC. But you know who has the easiest? Mizzou.
Mm-hmm. Tennessee 10.
Penn State 11, Mizzou 12. Mizzou or FSU for 12.
God, we have a lot. We don't have an ACC team in there, so I feel like we have to put an ACC team in, right? Yeah, maybe.
Whew. Where do we fuck up then? How did Mizzou not end up on this list?
I kind of feel like it's like, do you believe in Missouri or Tennessee? And then you kind of pick one of those. You have to go with one of them. I'm going Tennessee.
Fucking both, and let's put Iowa at 12. They got Caden Proctor, dude.
Tennessee 10, Penn State 11. I'll let you pick 12. Missouri or FSU?
I don't. Let's see what chat's saying. I think Iowa should be top 5. Yeah, probably right. Mizzou over Tennessee. A lot of Mizzou. Mizzou has to be top 12. I don't know. I'm kind of losing steam here.
All right, let's just go FSU.
Chop them. Yeah. Okay, but should we go Mizzou at 10 and not rank Tennessee?
No.
You sure? Mm-hmm. Why? Sell me on Iamaleava over the proven Brady Cook Luther Burden combo.
I don't think it's an offensive thing. I think when you look at the defense, I truly worry with losing that entire staff. And I think a really good defense coordinator.
No, dude, Mizzou, shit.
Tennessee improved last year on defense. You act like Tennessee's defense was horrendous. Like it's trending in the right direction. No,
I didn't say they were horrendous. They did a great job of creating havoc. Yeah, for sure. But I know, and I was just talking about how we have Penn State and Tennessee ranked right next to each other, and one has offensive problems, and one's weakness would technically maybe be on the defensive side of the ball. Actually, even though this year is more of just the offense for Tennessee not being shit. So you were really betting on Iamaleava being better than a Mizzou when their combined record of opponents for Mizzou is sub 20 games under 500.
Yes.
Should we yeet Penn State out of there?
No. Talented team. Got a lot back on offense. I think the offense will be better next year.
Shit, man.
Snaps top 12. We'll say it in order. Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Texas 3, Oregon 4, Ole Miss 5, Alabama 6, Michigan 7, Utah 8, Notre Dame 9, Tennessee 10, 11 is Penn State, and then number 12, Florida State. Stamp it, boys. There you go.
We really did just crown Tennessee over Mizzou. Okay.
We did.
Okay. I don't hate it. Penn State isn't top 20. Okay, relax, dude. Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy, dude. Greg Lamont, how many years have we said Penn State will be better next year? Well, Penn State's still really good. That's the thing. Did the Ole Miss loss knock them out the top 10 this year?
It should have.
Dysola says Penn State's losing to WU week 2. I fucking hope so, dude. I'll be so hyped. Should we put this is a great point, actually.
No, we're not putting Nebraska in there.
What?
No.
How'd you know?
I
Nebraska
just
had
knew
12, dude. Come on.
As soon as someone
dude.
puts corn hub in the chat, T-Bob gets horny.
Matt Rule's gonna be like, help, I'm stuck in the top 12. I can't get out. Yeah,
Sports Illustrated should have done a corn hub edition with just corn. Yeah, I'm not going to go into detail here. I'm not trying to get fired, but you know what I'm trying to get at.
I actually have no fucking idea what you're trying to get at. With corn, what? With like women posting in corn?
Yeah.
Like,
eating
or
corn.
Like corn-fed women?
Yeah, corn-fed women. Yeah, just good Midwestern women.
So why in the world would that behoove Sports Illustrated at all to do that?
No, it wouldn't be Sports Illustrated. I'm saying more for a help or for Nebraska.
I think now, if you're telling me the Nebraska Collective should do a swimsuit edition with a corn theme, like, I could definitely be.
That's
down
more
for
what
that.
I'm trying to get at here. Yeah.
Okay.
T-Bob on the cover.
No. Like you said, just a good, beautiful, thick Midwestern woman. And then I think we should probably, I would like it to actually appeal to both genders. So I would throw like some thick bros in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
But look at my Instagram algorithm. It's all just fucking muscly dudes. I just love jacked dudes. Always have. It's one of the reasons why I like comic books so much. Everybody's just so jacked.
Weird.
Yeah. I get like so much bodybuilding stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even lift.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Sports at Troy V is Sports Illustrated still a thing? No, literally no. They just collapsed over the weekend, unfortunately. Rip. All right.
See you tomorrow.
That'll do it for today's show. We love you so much. Hey guys, please hit the like button. Share it with your friends if you enjoy it, right? Please sub. Hopefully when we come in here tomorrow, 14K, that'd be such a nice surprise if that was the case. Well, maybe not surprise. It'd be really nice to see, though. We'd love it. And World Paint just watched WWE. That's one of the reasons why I loved wrestling growing up. I just fucking love jack dudes. Thank you to Pat Gunther. Chill out. Let me thank our excellent producers, Aaron. I know you got to go do whatever it is you got to do.
I didn't even get jacked myself trying to get a workout in.
I see you with that Chiefs sweatshirt on. We didn't even talk in the NFL today. Please, I'm sorry. Thank you to Pat Gunther, Ryan Brumley, Danny Cardenas, Chris Tran, Adam Gracia, Christian Hunter, all the boys on the Snaps team making it happen. We love you, and we'll see you tomorrow for some more Snaps.